Yo, no maniacs. Welcome to the show. This is Nomad Live, all Bears all the time, in conjunction with Sports Zone Chicago, with my guy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra.
Yeah.
Welcome in, man. Welcome everybody in the chat, Patty. Hey there, Queen, Junior, Mr. Mayhem, Trapper Keeper. Let me see, Jay Grizz, Nathan Campbell, Squeegee. Who is that down there? King Buka, Evie. Evie like a Chevy. My bad.
Chevy.
Lord Crimson. Hey, everybody, welcome in, man. Sorry for yesterday. It was a holiday. We felt like it's best that we let people recognize the holiday and enjoy the weekend. I know I enjoyed mine, and I hope you guys did too. It is April Fool's today, and in about 24 days from now, we will be making the number one pick in the NFL draft. Allegedly, and I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of rough, trying to get content going. You know what I mean, for every day of the week in this dead period. It's a real dead period right now, and not a lot of storylines coming out, but we find a way to get it done. So hope you guys appreciate what we do for you guys each and every day. And we're gonna get right into the show. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of it, we'll let everybody give shout outs and a few pleasantries before we dig in.
Yo, no maniacs, what's cracking? Hopefully you had yourself a good holiday weekend. Happy Easter to those who observe it. To those of you who don't and just enjoyed the weekend, hopefully you had yourself a weekend. Outside of that, I spent some time with the fams. It was great. Got to see my aunt. She's getting up in age, so I was happy to spend some time with her. And my little nephew and niece, my sister. Anyhow, good times, lots of food, more food than I really should have eaten, as well as lots of alcohol. So hopefully the hangover is worn off and this can be a decent show. In any event, good to see you guys here. Couple of brand new heads that I've never seen before. Marco King, I believe. Marco, what's up to you? Good looking out. John Stegmeyer, good to see you, brother. There was a couple more that I noticed in here. Oh, Mike Whalen, welcome in. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us, brother. There may have been a couple of Nathan Campbell. You're definitely in and around. I've seen you a couple of times, but there's a few new heads. So just wanted to give some welcomes to those guys who are joining us, as well as Bears fan Goomba Nick. Good to see you out there, Nick. Hopefully you're having yourself a good day. My guy, the Bishop. Hopefully your weekend went well. How's it going?
It was a good weekend. Got a chance to watch some college basketball, especially. I've really just chimed into the women's tournament over the weekend. It was exciting, man. I mean, those women was balling, to say the least. But anyway, to everybody in the chat today, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you watch any of the men's, I got the chance to watch the NC State versus Duke, I think, yesterday. It was a dangerous game. Bro, my guy, Burns is just a monster in the paint, man. But anyhow.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, anyway, to everybody in the chat today, the No Maniacs, our sports zoners, everybody that's out there that's paying attention to us, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. To my everyday followers that's out there, you know who you are. My boy Stuart and Sophie out in Florida, my boy V-Dub up in Detroit. Rita, Felicia, my SIU people, everybody, Chi-Town, stand
Angela,
up.
Pamela, Renee, I love you. You're from around the way.
I was literally running through my brain too. Nicely done.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Right I caught the back end of that one. That was a good one.
There you go. Yes, sir. But hey, thank you guys. I hope everybody had an enjoyable Easter weekend. But today we're going to get into it. We're going to talk Bears football, and it's going to be fun today. So, my man Shawn, what it do, my brother?
Man, gentlemen,
what's Shawn,
up? Yes,
I don't know what that means.
That's okay.
Yeah, you're too old, brother. You're too old, Chris. You know about no LL Cool J, bro. What's wrong with you, bro?
Yep.
Wow.
Well, hey, listen, hope all you guys had a happy Easter Sunday. Hope we got to spend time with your family and family, friends, and loved ones. All right, I talk about it all the time. Real talk. As we get older, time seems to move faster, and every time there's a holiday, always seems like there's one less person than there was the year before. So make sure you tell people you love them. Make sure you send them a text. I was very fortunate to, my mom and I went to my cousin's in South Elgin. We do that for pretty much for all the holidays. We will head out that way. Her dad, who passed away, was my mom's brother, and so she's always kept it. I mean, and I've been one of her favorite cousins since we were kids, so we always go out that way. A lot of food, like Kedz said, no alcohol for me. I was just chilling. But man, it was tons of food. So hope you guys had a very enjoyable Easter. I'm excited to talk some Bears football. I'm excited to have my dreams come true with this number 1 pick. And stop. And so let's get to it. Nomad.
Yo, Trapper Keeper with your new edition Bobby Brown button on your sleeve. A
Trapper
fit
Keeper
and a bad attitude. That's all I need to get me in a good mood. Hey, look. Hey, I just
walk with a switch. You talk street slang. I love it
Hey.
when a woman is scared to do a thing.
Standing on a bus stop. Don't even get me started, Sean. Hey, by the way, Sean, I want my daddy's hat back after the show. I just want you to know that right now. I want his hat back.
Oh,
and I want my daddy's records now. I want both of them.
Oh, okay, now you're asking for too much, bro. The hat and the records, you pick one.
Right.
Pick
right.
one or the other. Dog.
Okay.
Now you're just getting greedy.
All right. Hey, man. Hey, look. Hey, we about to have a fun show. Lots of stuff talk.
So says the guy that don't like striped socks.
Oh, hey, it's starting to pour down here, man. But hey, look, man. Let's start. We got to start off on a somber note. Unfortunately, fellas, 35-year-old former cornerback, Miami Dolphin, Indianapolis coach, Vontae Davis was found deceased in his home at the age of 35. Latest update that I received was it was a medical call, and so but I'll let you guys speak to that, and I just want to talk to because I know Sean and I probably have a more of a kinship to what that might be like for somebody, a former player, and a medical reason to be out. Then I don't know. Some of you guys might be able to recognize what I might talk about here, but I'll let you guys touch on that, and then I'm gonna talk to Sean about a thing or two.
You know what? I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass it down to both Bishop and or Sean because I'm just hearing about this now. I didn't realize that he passed away. That's crazy. Kind of hit me here.
Oh yeah, me too, man.
Brother of Vernon Davis, tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. Wow, 35 years of age, man. That's way too young, brother, and shocking to say the least, man. I'm gonna let Sean and Nomad chime in on this one, man, while I just take all this in, cause that you just blew me with that one, brother. You blew me with that one. Sean, take it away, my brother.
Wow. Yeah, I saw a little while ago. I saw a little while ago. He's also U of I. You went to U of I, if I'm not mistaken, and so yeah, it was a medical call. They said, and it was no foul play, of course. So it was. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like I said when we started the show, man, you just never know. And as we get older, and if you're younger, you don't get it as much. And I don't fault you for it because you're not at that stage of life. You know, I've been here longer than I'll probably be here. You know what I mean? As far as my life goes, and you start to realize certain things, and that people you care about, family is family first, man. And the people you care about really need to know that you care about them. You know, and you know, it's just a sad day, and thoughts and prayers go out from, you know, Nomaniacs and sports owners alike to the family. Because 35 years old, man, the kid that like you're literally just starting to figure stuff out at 35. You know what I mean, in your life, and you know, and it's unfortunate that the people that he left behind, you know, are, you know, just man.
Sean, I remember that. I remember that. What I wanted to speak to you about, and this is in no way directly related to what happened or may not have happened with Vontae Davis. The medical call is what first triggered this thought. Instantly, it went to depression to me. It went to depression. I don't know. I don't have any proof of what actually happened, and I'm not going to speculate too specifically into what happened with Vontae Davis. But what I am going to speak on is being a football player and those days when, like, like I could tell you right now, when it comes, Shawn, when it really dawned on me that was no longer a thing to really hang my hat on. Like football was out of the question at this point, at a certain point in my life, and it was all I was for a long time, because everything I did up until the point that I didn't was about being a pro football player. Things didn't, all the boxes weren't checked. At the end of the day, I was young and too ignorant of the college, politics to understand what I was getting myself into. And so, long story short, Shawn, what I'm trying to say is, at that point in my life, I didn't know who I was. And so I would imagine somebody that's been playing pee-wee football all the way up and through high school, all the way up and through college, and being a professional for several years, that person probably never really got a chance to find out who exactly he is outside of a football player. And all of a sudden, that's removed from you. Because don't forget, Vontae Davis was the guy that basically retired at halftime of a game. He retired at halftime of a game. And, you have to
forgot about that.
Yeah, you have to question why any of that happened in the first place. There's a lot of good speculation out there. I care not to get too much into it. But, Shawn, what I'm trying to get at is that time in your life when you knew that football was no longer an option and you had to figure out who Shawn Sierra was and what he can bring to this life and how he can become a productive member of the society and keep yourself motivated without the game of football. How hard was that to you? Because I know for me, it was a real depression. I've never experienced depression, but it was not a depression, but it was a confusing time for me more than it was anything, and just trying to figure things out. I don't know how that was for you, but please do share.
Well, first of all, they said that the police found him in his home and no foul play was involved. So that's a good news. That's real good news. But for me, it was when I got the call. So you wouldn't believe this, but I'm telling you, I have to write a book by the time in the next 5 years. So I'm playing in Italy, and I was with the San Lazzaro Phoenix. San Lazzaro is a town right outside of Bologna. So I lived in Bologna, and we were killing people. I came in to play in the playoff game the year before, like literally 2 weeks after I graduated college, literally 2 weeks after. And they signed me for the next season. And man, we were killing. I was leading or second leading rusher in the league at that point. We were blowing people out. And, I was happy. Man, I was happy as a pig in slop. You know what I mean? Playing in Italy, the just in northern Italy was beautiful. And then the Mafia didn't want us to win the championship because it looked like we were on our way to win the championship. You couldn't stop us. Me running the ball, our quarterback, who was the backup on the Italian national team, like basically the second or third best quarterback in Italy, was on our team. We had the number one receiver in Italy, a couple of the other national team linebackers. I mean, we were stacked, but they didn't want us. They wanted Rome or Milan to win. Well, the Mafia ran me out. I know it sounds crazy, but they made some key moves, and unfortunately, I had to leave. So when I came home, it was crazy. My roommate from college was actually supposed to come visit me the following week, and man, it was crazy. And obviously, I don't know what he did with the ticket, but he had already paid for his ticket, and like, man, I called him like almost damn near crying and stuff. Like, I got released, and I told him I'll explain it to him later when I get home and whatever. So I got home, and I had no idea. I had no idea what I was going to do. None, and then I started. Luckily, there was a team that I looked out right before I went to New York. No, when I got home, that's when I went to New York. So that helped a lot. That helped a heck of a lot. But my urge still wasn't satisfied. I still wanted to play. I still wanted to, there's nothing like football I've been playing since I was 10. All right. At that point I was 22, 22 going on 23, it's more than half of my life. And luckily I was working in New York, and one of the guys in my office, I was working on Wall Street. One of the guys in the office coached a semi-pro team out in New York. And he said, do you want to play? And I was like, nah, I really don't want to. So I was done with football. I was kind of mad, and and he would jive me like, well, you don't have it anymore. I was like, no, dude, I was just a leading rusher in Italy, bro. I'm like, it's not that I don't have it. I just didn't feel like playing. And my second year in New York, I went back and played there, or I stayed and I played there, and it was a good time. So luckily I had that. And then when I got back to Chicago, I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. And luckily I got into teaching. All right. I got into teaching and coaching, and that really helped a lot. In my third year, we've been trying to put the football program together at Lucy Flower. We finally got the program off the ground. So I was very fortunate that I had that outlet. All right. Then I still played semi-pro ball here, which gave me the physical outlet to play. And then coaching, was, had me, kind of fulfilled for the most part. So it wasn't as difficult. It was difficult, but it wasn't as difficult for me as it was for a lot of my friends and former teammates, because I still stayed in the game. I still, I was teaching. Now I was teaching young men. All right. And, I taught. I started on the west side and went to the south side, and I only wanted to teach black and brown kids. All right. Because I had a phenomenal coaching evolution from my grammar school coaches to my high school coach to my college coach. And I wanted to make sure that they had that type of, if they were public school kids, if they couldn't afford a Catholic league education like I went to, I'm like, well, let me give them some of the coaching that I had. All right. And so that's why I only taught in, inner city kids, and, and so it was great. And I was fortunate there to finally have an outlet, but for a little while there, man, it was tough. It was tough. When I first moved to New York, after I didn't know what I wanted to do. When I first got back to Chicago, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and just kind of figure out where you want to go in life. And
Shawn, let me ask you, do you like, this is not a real good comparison, but it's the best comparison I can think of. Knowing people that I know Marines, people in the Army, playing football is almost not like you do put your life in danger every time you go out there, but not
you do.
Like the way someone in the armed services does, in a war situation. But you do, it's akin to that, because I'm glad FFG, I can't find that chat that somebody started, but he brought up the mental health aspect of it. And, that's it's one of those, that's where I was going, FFG. FFG says, at Nomad, is mental health the biggest point of focus for sports figures in the pros? Less devastating injuries to reincorporate back into civilian life to save lives. Yeah, man. It's I think the mental health aspect of it, you can't brush that off anymore. You can't.
No, you can't.
I mean, the CTE stuff is real, very real for people that play for long periods of time. That's very real stuff. Not only that, the injuries that pile up on you, what kind of normal job can you work if, like me, I'm experiencing sciatica pain, I don't know what, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I was only at 185, 5'10", 5'11", run to some big old dudes, man. And eventually that's going to give you some kind of back problems in the long run. But yes, I think that's where I'm going. The mental health part of it, trying to get people, there needs to be more outreach is what I'm saying. There needs to be more groups and more outlets for people who stop playing and didn't necessarily transition themselves the right way. Because some people stop playing ball like abruptly, like all of a sudden it's there. Then next thing you know, boom, it's gone. And
I know that feeling, bro. I got a phone call.
and you got to figure out the rest of life, man. And that's not easy for everybody else. Me, I'm pretty fluid. I bounce back quick. I'm a glass half full guy anyway, and I'm not prone to depression, thank God. But for some people who aren't built that way and wired that way and find optimism in whatever they do, that's got to be kind of difficult for people. And I just wish that people would pay more attention to that aspect of it. I mean, as fans, and realize what you're rooting for is some special individuals that have a special gift that perform for you every day on Sunday. But when that is over, they are real people. They are real life people that have to live with real life situations. I don't know what happened with Vontae Davis, and we've talked about quite a bit, man. But really quickly, guys, I'm almost certain it's going to come back that he had some kind of depression issue. I'm almost willing to bet that that was part of it. And if that was the case, then Lord knows, how he was responding to not playing ball anymore, not just trying to figure out the rest of his life. I don't know what that's like for a person that, is prone to depression. I did not go through that. Don't know what that feels like, but I have a certain sense of the confusion somebody might be going through in their life. Kids, you're muted.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure if this is a mental health thing, but it wouldn't surprise me. It looks like after football, he went off to open his own company. He has a hospitality company of some, in some capacity. And what's really interesting to me is it goes to financial knowledge and what you do when you're a football player, right? Like, I'm sure at least I know Shawn, you watch Ballers, right? Like hopefully everybody has watched Ballers a little bit. It's an interesting show starring Dwayne Johnson and I believe Denzel Washington's kid. They kind of go through the financial side of football. And one of the major issues is that, again, you get these contracts, you're making this type of money and you're doing big things, but the transition after is always such a monstrosity because nobody's really prepared for it or thinking about it. They're just sort of living in the moment like everybody else is, check to check. Difference between us and them is their checks is a hell of a lot bigger. By my mouth. It's one of those situations where, as a football player, if you are actively playing in a league and making that type of money, it's important to have, good financial wherewithal, if not of your own. Maybe it's somebody who's supporting you in that capacity. You got to start to build businesses and build around what you have, grow what you have so that you can create your own, wealth engine, so that that's not an issue. And hopefully, if you're depressed after something along those lines, that's just because now you're no longer doing what it is that you love to do. And unfortunately, there's not much that I can do to help somebody there. But if you have the resources, you can tap into other things along the lines of what Shawn sort of said. So it's an interesting situation. Again, I hope this wasn't a depression case scenario. In my mind, I think it may have just been medical, but blessings and prayers to the Davis family across the board. Sad situation.
Yeah, man, that's again just the devastation of knowing that he was only 35 years of age, man. That alone. But what a lot of people and most of us as fans or on the outside looking in, we see the dollar amount in which they make, and we see that as big money, millions of dollars. But what we tend to not understand about the business of professional sports and or entertainment is they have so many people that they have to pay before they actually see their money. So we see that large number, but once you really start breaking that down in terms of what their agent gets, if they got publicists, so on and so forth, when it really comes down
Uncle
to
Sam.
Uncle Sam, I was getting ready. I'm leading into that. I'm leading into that, Shawn. What people don't
I just thought
understand.
you'd want to start with the dude who takes the biggest chunk. That's all.
Yeah, I was. Well, actually, I wanted to lead the guy that takes the biggest chunk for last, because that's the part that is important, and it goes back to like when we had the question last week about Danielle Hunter choosing to go to the Texans versus
Right.
any place else he probably could have landed. Especially when you're on the back end of your career, you want to try to keep as much of your money as possible.
So I'm gonna let you continue. I'm just gonna pause you there for a second, but like the little pause, the little timeout I'm taking here is directly related to taxation. And if you're not spending your money in a manner that saves you in taxes, you're losing money by the tons.
I'm going
Go
there, brother.
right back
I'm
to you,
going
bro.
there.
Right back to
I'm
you.
going right there. So, here it is. Uncle Sam reaches in and he takes this huge chunk of your money. You got to have, that's why it's important, as you were saying, kids, to surround yourself around with the people that are savvy enough to show you how you can get a good portion of that money back, whether it be through philanthropy or other means of investments that are continually making money for you, even although you're still on the field or the court or the diamond playing that sport. that money, you're making that money, you need to be doing something on the back end to make sure that that money is making money for you, because ultimately in the end, when the day comes, and that day will come, you know, as they say, Father Time is undefeated. You're not going to be playing that sport any longer. Yet you've acquired this type of lifestyle that has to be maintained unless you know, and you've already started kind of scaling back to get to a point where you can still have a very above average lifestyle, but your income, you know, you don't need that big money to maintain it. You can maintain it all, because I'm gonna be very honest. If you're able to buy a home with that kind of money, and you can pay for your home and it's free and clear, by all
Cash.
means
Mhm.
do so.
Do that.
Don't be paying a mortgage on a $12 million house, and then you only got a couple years left in the game. And with football especially, you know, at any time the team can release you. And that does not mean that you're going to get picked up by another team. And even if you do, the chance of you making that kind of money again is highly unlikely. So it's extremely important. And this is not just for those that are playing sports. This is for everybody. Those of you guys in the chat as well. Make sure that you are doing the things necessary to prepare yourself for life after whatever it is that you're doing. You know, if you don't have some form of residual income coming in, or some means of cash flow purposes that can sustain your current livelihood, start looking into it. You know, don't count on the 401ks, you know, and right now, be truthfully honest, definitely don't count on Social Security. You know, that's not going to sustain you. You know,
All
so
right.
start thinking about the things that's necessary. But other than that, I'm gonna transition over, so because we got other things to cover. But
Let,
it's unfortunate. My prayers go out to the Davis family.
let me jump
Just real
in here.
quick. Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Sean.
What I was going to say, I'll keep it. It starts at a young age, and you can't, you know, when you start saying I want to be an NFL player, cool, but your first thing as a parent, as you know, is say, what do you want to do after? I just want to be a basketball player. I want to be a football. No. Okay, good. You do. What do you want to do after? And you have to instill that, because it's not brainwashing, but it's a form. If this is all you allow your child to think, okay. And I'm not saying that their parents are wrong, but maybe they're in a tough situation. We know a lot of times athletes come from just situations you just want to get out. Right. You think that gets you out. You have to say, hey, listen, okay, it's finite. Everything in life is temporary, everything, including life. What are you going to do when you're done? And if you start instilling that in your children, you'll see a lot more people, okay, who will say, okay, yeah, I just got a big contract, but I have this company. I have a big contract, but I'm a real estate investor. I have a big contract, but I'm involved in this. I have I just signed a big contract, but I have this. So now it's so much easier. I mean, it's light years ahead easier to step away from the game, knowing that, yeah, you don't have 25 million coming, but you got $7,500 a month coming in from your real estate properties. Like, oh, snap. All right. Because you're not going to live that millionaire lifestyle. You can get the house, cool. And that 7,500 can go into property taxes. You know, you're more than comfortable with that. And it starts at a young age. Okay. You want to be a pro baller. What do you want to do after? And we start teaching our kids that, and not just teaching them or get them to think about, teaching them options. All right. How about real estate? How about investments? How about bonds and stocks and things of that nature? So you can even do that while you're playing. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's
Honestly,
cultural.
Sean,
Well,
like
hold
you're
on before you go there, kids, because we're 30 minutes in, and it's hard to interrupt when guys are giving you such free good knowledge right here. And they just gave you free. Anybody can relate to what Sean and Keith and Kedz are saying. Anybody. It wasn't just two football players. That's real life stuff. Financial literacy stuff that they just gave you. Now, I would love to keep talking about it, but we spent 30 minutes, and all I can do is say, I wish what's his name?
Vontae.
Vontae Davis a peaceful journey. And I wish it was different for him, because I know he had a lot left to give in life. And it is so unfortunate to hear about that story. And I just wish him a peaceful journey on his next trip here. But got to do a hard left turn real quick, man. because there's a story out there about Rashee Rice car accident, and apparently fled the scene, and law enforcement is after him, looking for him now. Real quick before you guys chime in, just wanted to give the little story we was talking about in the back in the green room about my situation in college. Had a couple of guys in college do the same thing. Took off running from the scene. One of them ran right to my apartment. Hey, worried and shaking. I was just like, dude, what is wrong with you? The car is registered in your name, dummy. Go back to the scene. We had a guy on the team, a paid supporter of the team, that would go to scenes wherever situations happen, like a lot like Wolf on Pulp Fiction. He would go to the scene and kind of clean up young people's mistakes, which a lot of those happen when you're in college. Young people do stupid stuff all the time, and we had a guy that was there kind of like a fixer, and he ran to my apartment the one time, and I sent him back to the scene. And that's, to me, that's what I thought I heard when I heard about the Rashee Rice story. It was just a knee-jerk reaction. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble, I better run. You get in trouble, and your first instinct is to flee, right? And so I think that's all it is, man. And it's gotta, now he's probably compounded the problem, and now it's just about how bad is it gonna get from here. Go ahead, kids.
Sorry, man. I was just laughing at Alex Machado. That was pretty funny. Outside of that, oh man, like I have to plead the Fifth Amendment and say that I've never done anything similar to this. just put that out there first. In any event,
I am not a crook. I am not a crook.
Yeah. Plead the Fifth. Anyhow, it's terrible that these things seem to happen, to NFL players frequently, right? We've got Carter last season, very similar situation, prevented us from drafting him due to it. Then you've got Henry Ruggs a couple of years back. I mean, he didn't flee the scene, but there's kind of no point to flee. He was going to jail. He was doing time regardless, because he messed up. He did some stupid stuff. And I don't like, things that drive me crazy is if you have access to an exorbitant amount of money, and you decided to go to a club that night and get inebriated. None of these things would I ever judge you for. But jumping in your own vehicle and driving home afterwards, yeah, you should be held accountable for that. That's stupid. For lack of a better word, you should call an Uber, bro. Call a taxi, call a friend, steal a bicycle. Pay the guy for stealing the bicycle the following day with your exorbitant money, right? Like I don't even understand the requirement to jump back in your.
I think most of it right now. I think most of it right now, they're getting these fast cars and they're out there racing on the highway. That's what it looked like to me.
And that's brilliant to do when you're inebriated. That's a brilliant idea. And Henry Ruggs is a prime example of why that's not a brilliant idea. If you like to drive fast in your fast, expensive car, I get it. Do it tomorrow when you're sober. Do it before you go and get drunk. Right? Like, no, I don't understand the excuses for this. And being the person I am, I take strides, personally, not to ever drive drunk or when I'm under the influence. That being said, I will call the Uber and go get my car the following day. And I think it's something that everybody should be doing. I think it should be commonplace. And I don't understand why, when you have those types of resources, just call somebody and call it a day. There's really no excuse for this.
You're not gonna get any argument out of me. What I don't understand is what I don't quite understand is this. Why would you put yourself in that position in the first place? If you want to buy expensive cars that you can race, do that in a controlled environment. There's places you can do that and be able to, one, get that full rush from being able to do so in a controlled environment, but more importantly, not put yourself or anybody else at risk. All could have been the same, that it could have been a lot worse, and he not be able to allegedly flee from the scene, You know, we don't know if he was actually driving or not. Somebody else, a buddy of his, could have been driving. We don't know. But to think that you would even put yourself in that type of situation or position, and then there's cameras everywhere today, guys. So what made you think that if you were going to leave the scene, walk away, run away, or whatever, that wouldn't get caught on some form of camera? It just does not make sense to
Young
me.
and idiotic, man. Young and idiotic. It was just knee-jerk reaction.
You know what? I hear you on that, man. But at the same time, he may be young, he may be an idiot. But let's be true about one thing, man. You got enough damn sense to know that wasn't the move. So now, whatever ramifications come from that action, he got to live with it, bro. If the chief decide to find out and say, "Hey, you're guilty of this, bro, and we got to release you because you just ruined your chance, dude." Well, we don't know. But there's got to. Well, you know what? I hear you when you say they're not going to release him. But at what point, man? Look. At what point is there enough going to be enough? Somebody's, sometimes you got to make examples to let everybody else know. We're just not going to tolerate this because once again, when it comes down to the shield, and we've heard this all too often before with the Ray Rices and everybody else, the shield is going to protect the shield. And when you get that type of negative publicity that not only affects the team in which you play for, but potentially the shield, then again, there's some ramifications that's going to come down the line. If that's a long-term suspension with no pay and hit your pocket that way, we don't know what it's going to be, but it was idiotic to say the least. And hopefully no one was hurt or injured from it besides the vehicles that was involved.
Right. Go ahead, Shawn.
Yeah, you know what? We've all been young and dumb, and I can't. I'm not going to sit here and cast a stone because I did that in Italy. I did that here at times. And as you get older, you get you get wiser.
For you, eh?
Yeah, no, you know what? Just keeping it a buck, man. You know, there are times I woke up at home in the car, and I had no idea how the hell I got there. All right, and and not that I'm proud of it, and I'm very fortunate that nothing happened to me or worse, somebody else. All right, and so it's when you're young, you're dumb, you're invincible, and the problem is people don't think. All right, what you need to do is just to say, hey man, you know what? We go out, I get tore up, you got to drive. Or we're going out. You just have one of your boys. We all got one of them guys who just don't drink. You know what I'm saying? Who just don't drink, and he just doesn't drink for whatever reason. He got a family. He never drank ever in life, whatever. Hey, you get me home. All right, I might be a jerk. All right, and this conversation has to happen while you're sober, of course. And say, hey, listen, I might be a jerk. I might call you, but you got to understand that I need you because I can't, because you're going to want to drive. It's my car. I'm the one making the millions. I'm the one playing catching touchdowns and hitting 3-pointers and hitting home runs. They're watching me. I want to drive my fast car that I bought with my money. But when you sit down and when you're sober with your boys, like, hey, I don't care what kind of jerk I get, if I'm that much of a jerk, take off without me and make me get home by myself in the morning. And in the morning when I'm sober, I'll understand that, all right, I was being a jagbag. You know what I mean? So it's those things. And then now the Uber, man, there was no Uber back when I was kicking it like a fool.
No.
Man, because Lord have mercy, man, they'd have known. I'd have bought stock in Uber, and I known that one if it was around back then. Because there are plenty of times, like I said. So it's young. You're young. You're dumb. You think you're invincible. You're loaded. All right. You've accomplished some of your dreams, and you don't think anything can stop you, and you are hopefully not dead, but dead wrong.
Okay, real quick, man, just because we gotta get a quick station ID in, and we're gonna get into the nuts and bolts of Chicago Bears conversation that we came here to have. But really quick, let's do the station ID first.
The best Chicago Bears content anywhere. Catch Nomad live pregame 1 hour prior to kickoff, and Nomad at night postgame and every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central on all the most popular streaming platforms. And only on the Nomad Network.
That is right, everybody. Thank you all for the support. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Notification bell. I don't say that enough time for both networks, both the Nomad Network and also Sports Zone Chicago. We appreciate all the support. And as you can see at the top of the screen, there's my Cash App. I would never come on this show and tell people that you have to give money. What I can do is ask, because we got a lot of important stuff that we plan on doing here in the near future, that all of the contributions anybody could give us, whether it's during the show on the super chat, in and around after the show, will be greatly necessary, because we have a lot of stuff. There's training camp coming up, people. We want to put the Nomad Network people there. We want to put Sports Zone Chicago people there, whoever we can get there and give some live coverage, things like that, and just expanding the brand, trying to get more people involved, get more people doing more things, so the brand can branch out a little bit more, which we are very close to doing right now. So anybody that's giving contributions, thank you so much. We appreciate every single nickel of it, and we will use it for great things. But let's talk about some Chicago Bears football, man. The thumbnail says, "Are we legit?" And my thoughts go all over the place when that comes to my mind. But the first thing that comes to my mind is, and this is the most important thing, in my opinion, is can we get consistent enough quarterback play from a rookie? With the defense feeling like we have a pretty solid defense, and we feel like we add some pretty solid pieces on offense as well. But my problem is wondering or not if or not this quarterback can be consistent in a brand new system. The West Coast offense is not an easy offense to learn. I don't care who you are. It's a difficult offense to learn. The verbiage, just the verbiage alone is enough to really sink your teeth in and really have to deal with that for a long time. But I worry also, kids, about just being we're a top heavy team. What I mean by that is our first string, the first 22 is pretty solid, pretty decent. But after that, that was my concern the whole time, was our depth. How do we look once an injury starts to take place here or there? Keenan Allen goes down, djmoore, what happens, or Javon Dexter, and what happens when Kevin Byard goes down? Any of that, Montez Sweat, that's the thing I worry about. So when we're talking about legit, to me, I think it's to be determined. I think they have to prove that right away, and I don't know what's going to happen if they don't. So I'll just let you take it from there, kids. And what do you think about that question?
Man, sometimes you line things up for me, but in any event, I'm going to transition real quick and hit some super chats, and then I'll get back to it. Our guy King Booker World, number one, tippy top, no maniac, $2 super chat. Guns and butter, baby, he says. FFG style, my guy FFG. For the cause, love the show. Thanks, FFG. Thanks for representing with us, bro. I appreciate that. Oh, Evie Bear Down Davis, no maniacs, locked and loaded, she said. Love it, Evie.
Love you.
Say what's up to Stanley for me. Give him a little pet there. In any event, I'm gonna sit here and say that, yeah, by way of the word legit, I think we're a legit team. I do. My worry is very similar to Nomad's. I think we skirted and dodged, I say we, but I'm really talking about Ryanpoles. He skirted and dodged the ability to backfill all of those positions with just blue chip talent or next to blue chip talent. That was on the table this season. And again, I believe he's somewhat circumnavigated that. He's dead set and focused on the quarterback. So the hopes is, and it's a double-edged sword, the hopes is the quarterback comes in here, learns quickly, and elevates the offense all season long. If he's a guy who you can win because of, if he's putting the team, quote unquote, on his back, that'll be a thing to see. And I think that makes us a heck of a lot more than just a legitimate squad. The downside is, once more, that depth piece that Nomad touched on, which we weren't able to really manage or deal with. The sky's the limit and the possibilities are there. Defense is strong. Offense is on the upswing. One of the things I wanted to sort of throw out there is just a running back case scenario. Without Justin Fields, we're about 1,000 yards down rushing the ball. Really happy that we did replace that loss with 1,000-yard plus rusher. That's a very interesting piece. As long as we can maintain that on the offensive side, I think the sky's the limit. But it all comes back down to two factors: A, the development of Caleb Williams and how quickly that happens, and B, depth and injury. What do you think, Bishop?
Well, to answer the question, are the Bears legit? On paper, they appear to be. What we have to see is what it's going to look like on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And because our GM have put the emphasis on the quarterback position, what I hope they can do is start out the season with an offense to his strengths in terms of scheme, and incorporate and roll into what that identity of the offense is going to look like, and then really start developing the scheme. But to be ahead of the curve some, can we have an offense that's going to accentuate his strengths, what he does best, and then as you start incorporating week after week what the game plans are going to be, what the identity of the offense is going to be, then offensively we can bring that together to where by the end of the season we have an idea and an identity attached to the offense. Defensively, on paper, are they legit? I would say yes. And I think on the field, it will show that they are legitimate. Although I still have my question regarding making sure we can add that blue chipper at DN as an edge rusher. But beyond that, I know our secondary is solid. I feel confident in our linebacking core, and I feel confident in what the defensive line is going to be able to produce because of the new D coordinator that we have in place with Mr. Washington. So I still say let's not put the cart before the horse just yet, but on paper things look good. But we have to see that translate onto the field. And if we're able to see that, and with a 9+, and I'm going to play the over-under with a 9+ winning season, I think at that point, then we can say that we've made some serious strides. What you think, Shawn?
I think we're legit. Not a legit Super Bowl contender, but I think legit where we have a legit shot at the division crown. I think we have a legit shot at the playoffs.
Don't say that too loud. Dunbar's in the chat, by the way.
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
Yeah, he's lucky that we don't play them more times, or we whip that tail more times. But I digress. What has happened is we've seen what Ryan Poles has done. Okay, is he's really insulated. We've mentioned this before. This is the best situation that a number one overall pick, a quarterback, is stepping into. Right, he upgraded the offensive line. He got a starting center. I know it's only a year deal. That doesn't mean he can't be extended. He got it all, and if those linemen stay healthy, okay, we hope that Nate Davis doesn't have any other personal issues like he had last year, which caused him to miss and be around family. I get it. Okay, Tevin Jenkins. I hope he's able to play as many games as possible, because we understand that he's never had a full season. Okay, just hope that it's minimized the games he misses. They're going to run the ball. They upgraded the running back position with the kid from Detroit, Denver. Who's your guy again? DeAndre Swift. Okay, Swift. So you upgraded the running back position. You added an extra tight end. You added an extra 1,000-yard receiver in Keenan Allen to go with your 1,300-yard. Keenan Allen had 1,200, 12+ to go with your 13+. Okay, wide receiver. Yeah, we're pretty legit. As long as Shane Waldron runs the ball. Okay? If you run the ball, what happens is we all understand it. If you run the ball effectively, guess what? It makes it so much easier for a quarterback. All right? It makes it so much more difficult to hide coverages, because we're not passing as much. All right? We're running the ball. You're taking time off the clock. You're winning by attrition. You're wearing defenses down, and you're making it a lot easier. Windows are a lot bigger. All right, because you got to bring an extra man down. If we can run that ball consistently, God bless it. And it would have, whoever the quarterback is, it's going to be so much easier for him to grow and to get experience, because just turn around, hand it to DeAndre Swift, turns around, hand it to Khalil Herbert, turn around, hand it to Rashawn Johnson, turn around, hand it to maybe, Velus Jones, who knows? Okay. Makes it a lot easier. So I definitely think, and I'm still standing on what I said earlier. I need a 10-win season, because if we regress, man, maybe I just think that we should not regress with all the help that they've finally started to allocate resources to the offensive side of the ball. Okay, if this was a plan, I mean, it had to have been a plan, because you really got the defense up. Okay, now it's time for the offense, and then we're still not done. We still have the draft. I assume we're going to get another offensive weapon, maybe two. Okay, and that's just going to contribute to the potency of this offense. So no, I think we're a legit team, legit playoff team. Super Bowl contender? No. Legit playoff team.
I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna turn the conversation right after I say this. I think depth helps teams get into a playoff run, and a deep one. And I think our depth is suspect right now. And I want to say we're legit, but the depth is going to always be a question for me, especially on the offensive line. I want to see, we're not done yet. Like Shawn said, there's still things that could be done. It could shore up a lot of things before now and training camp, and even afterwards, up until game one. I just want to see the depth get better. I think there's a possibility we can be legit, but it goes back to the O-line, and it goes back to the consistency of the quarterback play, which I'm not sure about just at this moment. But let's take a quick turn. Let me ask you guys this question. It's a very specific question. On offense, we're just talking about on offense right now. We'll go to defense after everybody goes around. Give me a guy that you consider being a breakout player for the offense. I'm going to give you two real quick. I think it's going to be Tyler Scott and Velus Jones.
You would say something like that.
Absolutely would.
Breakout player on the offense, I'm going to have to say it has to be Swift. That's my 2 cents there.
All right. No said. Go ahead, Keith.
My breakout player or players is Tyler Scott and Rashawn Johnson. I think Rashawn Johnson is going to have a breakout year, and he's going to show you guys and show everyone that he can help take on some of the lion's share of the carries. I think he's going to provide a necessary change-up that's going to cause some problems for defenses. And Tyler Scott, I just think Tyler Scott having a chance to get, that the first year under his belt, and remember, and remind everybody, he was a converted running back to receiver. So now he gets a chance to be developed. Hopefully over the offseason, he got him a jugs machine and worked on his hands even more. But I think that young man is going to do something and provide us something necessary in the slot. So those are my two guys.
Velus Jones, and I think Braxton Jones. I think the Jones brothers.
A little bit behind. Go ahead.
I think the Jones brothers. They're not brothers, but the Jones brothers. I think Braxton Jones is here in the heat. I think that the jump he made from rookie year to sophomore year last year was noticeable. Right, he was unable to stop a bull rush to save his life. He got much better at it. And I think with another offseason, and I think he might hit his peak. And my ceiling for him would be an above average left tackle. And I think he might get to that point or pretty close to that point this year, which is why I don't know if they're going to allocate any resources for that left tackle. But Velus Jones, Braxton Jones, those are my two breakout guys this year on offense.
All right, let's flip to the other side, because I bet you people can just imagine where I'm going with this one. I'm gonna say Gervon Dexter bust out this year, and my sleeper pick is, I think he already busted out, but no, actually, I'm gonna go with the two tackles. I'm gonna say Gervon and Zach Pickens bust out this year with the new D-line coach, Eric Washington, and what I believe he brings to the table to be able to unleash those two guys and actually get to see the full repertoire of what those guys bring to the table. So I'm going to say Big Javon and Zach.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Kevin Byard first off. I think we're going to see a huge difference in what that safety position looks like, in my opinion. That's my thoughts there. Secondarily, like I'm not sure if this is a breakout, but Edwards, man, like I think Edwards broke out this past season, but I think he's going to maintain. Like that guy is just too nice, and I've hustles all day long. I got nothing else to say about it. I think he will hold that defense down, and hopefully, hopefully he has a bit more of an effect on Tremaine. I'd say Tremaine, but I need to see it. Still think Edwards is the guy. Edwards and Byard for me. Bishop.
For me, I'm going with Javon Dexter, and I think Kyler Gordon is going to have one heck of a season. And I say that because with the way that I think Eric Washington is going to use that defensive line is going to speed up the opposing quarterbacks. And I think Kyler Gordon playing in that slot role in terms of DB is going to eat, because that middle of the field is going to be an area that I think they're going to put a lot of emphasis on takeaways because of the pressure they're going to be able to get with the interior of the defensive line. What you think, Shawn?
Javon Dexter, Tyreek Stevenson. I think we saw Tyreek Stevenson stick his little head out as far as breaking out last year. He had a couple of good games, and I think this year he really amps it up, especially if we do get another defensive end. And even if we don't, I think with Coach Washington and getting that defensive line set, getting them, fundamentally sound and unleashing these guys, I think Tyreek Stevenson has a really, 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 really good year.
All right, another quick hot button topic. It's if they don't get off to a hot start, how soon will the fan base turn on Flus?
Okay, so I think it's the opposite. So I don't think it'll be Flus's. Like,
hold on. I know where you're gonna go, Kedz, but just stay to Flus. Stay to Flus, because I had something for what you're about to say.
Okay. Then I'll keep it short and say early. If they lose the first 4 games, not necessarily Flus. Not necessarily will be Flus. Will Flus be feeling the fire? There was a whole lot of F's there, and I wanted to make sure not to cuss. Bishop, I'll throw it down to you. We'll come back around.
How soon will Flus feel the fire? I say week 6. I give it week 6, man. If we're not 500 ball by week 6, oh yeah, he's gonna feel the heat.
So he got to get off cooking. He's gonna have to get off cooking then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe that too. Go ahead, Shawn.
Yeah, I'd say about 6 or 8. Because it all depends on how they. You said if he does this. Give me your question again exactly. So, Nomad.
How soon will the fans turn on Flus if we don't get cooking early?
Okay, so yeah, if we don't get cooking, so you're saying 3 losses in a row, like we start 0-3. No, it'll be after 3 games. We got to win. Hopefully we win game 1, and that buys you time. All right.
Yeah.
But by week 8. If we win, if we win game 1, then we win game 3, then we get, people will get antsy. Okay, but they're not going to be yelling for his. Not everyone. The masses won't be yelling. Some will be yelling for his job, but not the masses. We keep winning with the new quarterback, and especially in the way that I was talking about. Yeah, he'll get a little longer leash. I don't think it'll be as short as some people say.
So
Something
in that vein, kids, let's stick to where you were headed. I'm just gonna feed you. Who catches that first stray, man? If we don't get off to a good start, is it Flus or the quarterback?
Quarterback catches 0 strays.
He's gonna get it straight. Now. He's gonna get if he's playing bad, he's gonna get it straight. It ain't like we can do anything about him because we made
this is why he's not going to catch any strays.
That's straight for sure.
No. Like there's a reason why I'm saying no here, right? Like we pushed all of our chips into the center of the poker table. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the play. This is the move. If we lose the pot, we lose the pot, and we just kind of have to sit at the table and watch everybody else play. Like it's a really good analogy if you think about it. That's basically where we're at. If the quarterback doesn't show up and show out early in the season, it's a season. It's another Bears season, and we just sort of have to watch it. We can't hold him we can't really hold him accountable. He's here for the next 3 to 4 years, right? So what are we going to say? We just have to sort of live with the situation. By game 7, it's Flus, right? By game 7, if there's not a winning record of some kind, it's Flus. Flus will then be on the hot seat, and he'll be out. And likely we'll be talking about things, as far as the offense is concerned. Is Waldron the right guy? Is that offensive staff the right staff? Long story short, head coach has to go. If the head coach goes, they'll reset everything and say, okay, well, you're still the quarterback. We're going to support you and see what happens until next season. I can smell Mitchell Trubisky from Canada. Is it just me? I'm not sure. But basically, it's the same thing. It's the same results.
Better watch it, kid. Boy, they'll come after you.
That's okay. I'm in Canada.
Go ahead.
Will it be Flus or the QB? I'm gonna have to roll with Kedz on this one. I don't see the QB catching many strays in the beginning, again, because ultimately that's who everybody wanted. They wanted a new QB. So the new QB is going to get the longer leash because, again, no one's really expecting much from the new QB. And to Shawn's point earlier on in the show, with regard to making sure that you incorporate a strong running game to get him to basically insulate him while he's learning on the fly, is the other reason why the QB won't catch the strays. Now, the one that need to have a bulletproof vest on will be Flus, because he's catching all the strays. Matter of fact, not just a bulletproof vest, he better have some headgear on because he might catch some head shots too. So, all I can say, man, is with regard to both QB, long leash, Flus, man, you better have that defense humming, and you better be above 500 by week 7, week 8. You better be over 500 ball. Period.
No, I got the QB, because if you keep trending the way that defense is trending, if we keep losing because of the quarterback, first of all, you got all the pro Justin people who are going to be jumping on that on the quarterback. If he's generational and he's stepping into this situation, he needs to play better. And then you might have some other people who are pro Caleb and said, "Hey, man, I thought you're generational. You need to play better." All right. So, and especially if that defense is playing well, that's Flus's fault. That's his calling card. So if he got that defense playing well and the offense is struggling, yeah, I think that quarterback's going to get the majority of them shots, and you're going to have a lot of people, oh, well, give him time. No. If it's Caleb, that he's generational, he needs to step into the best situation that any quarterback has ever stepped into as a number 1 overall pick. No, then there's the leash. I'm not gonna cut him some slack. I'm not. Right?
And Shawn, I'm glad you said that, because honestly, I kind of teed this up for you to take that lead on it versus me, because I always seem to be the one to take that lead, and then I'm ridiculed for it. I get creamed it, on it. So I'm glad you took it, but I'm in agreement with you as well. But I just think that you're gonna have enough of those that wanted the QB change to kind of shield him from that in the beginning.
Well, I think just to be real quick about it, and just so we can move, I think Viz Joe is saying nobody's going to blame a rookie quarterback. Shawn, you tripping. I think that's unfortunately Lizzo Joe. I think you're wrong. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. But I digress. I think he'll have a small grace period of a couple 2 or 3 games, but after that, judgment is gonna come hard and heavy. I'll just be honest with you.
You can't say someone's got the best quarterback in the last 20 years, and then all of a sudden, again, the best quarterback in the last 20 years, giving him the best situation that any rookie quarterback, number 1 overall pick, has stepped into, and then say, no, now let him develop. No, you can't do that. No. You can't do that. I'm not asking him to win a Super Bowl or pass for 5,000 yards. No, but if the situation where he's, blame him in the generational. So all the pro Caleb people who are generational. Okay, well, you put this talent on him.
Well, here's what we got to do right now.
Why would I blame a quarterback if his numbers are better than Fields? He's put in a position to have a better position than Fields as a rookie. I mean, that's a stupid question.
Well, that's a fair answer.
Hold on, guys, because this conversation can go on and on and on. Because it's a good conversation to have, because as we get closer to the season, I think that conversation is gonna be up and more earnest and more often about that whole situation. But let me take a quick left turn again, because this is an interesting. I just want a quick answer, quick as possible, to which one you would prefer. Say, for instance, guys, Bishop, Canuck, and Shawn, if Poles were to use some of that 2025 capital to draft back up into, I'm talking about after he grabs the number 9 pick and picks whatever player he thinks is a blue player there. He wants to get back in the top 25, and he wants to use some of next year's capital. Would you be okay with using that capital to get back into that draft pick, or to use it to get a trade for a player that's already out there on the market? So let's say, for instance, I'm just throwing a name out there. I'm not saying it's a possibility. Say, for instance, Micah Parsons became available. Which would you rather them do? Get a player like that with that expensive price tag on him, or go back into the draft with that capital? Go ahead, kid.
They can't afford that. Right?
Okay, which one is
that? The only, if we're talking edge rusher, sure. Like, specifically, that's where that money has to go. Like, whatever is left over has to go to an edge rusher. So sure, in that event. Outside of edge rusher, if they're spending that capital, has to be on somebody early in the draft. I would be absolutely fine with it. And I'll give the obvious caveat that probably wouldn't have to dip into next year if you did a little something. But I don't think that something's on the table, which means he probably has to go and spend that number 2 pick we got from Carolina this season. Like, it just makes sense. It's the easiest route of passage to actually fill out the trenches, right? Like, I expect at this point, I kind of expect them to go left tackle and or right tackle.
So you saying
and then get a defensive end maybe later.
So you saying to trade back up if you're going to use it? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, Bishop.
For Micah Parsons, yeah. But
where's he going? Where's he going on the field?
He got to be on the end, man. He got to be an edge rusher. Period.
Micah is an edge rusher all day long.
Got to be.
It's just not how he plays.
I know.
You know what I mean?
So be honest. If it's not Jesus. If I know we said be quick.
Yeah, please.
I'm not with you. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm not with using any of the draft capital for next year, unless it's a sure enough player that we know is going to be contributory and on the field right away. Other than that,
saying an established NFL player, if you're going to use. Okay, I get you. Go ahead, Shawn.
Yep. No, but unless it's a Jonathan Allen, if it's a Deron Payne, if it's someone that you know, yes. Otherwise, no. There's too many good edge rushers in next year's draft that we can combine some of those picks. No. Unless it's a proven. Give me a DJ Moore type player. Give me a Montez Sweat type player. That's the only reason I'm doing that. If it's not that level, that caliber of player, nope.
Okay, here's my thoughts. And it's this is just an imaginary scenario. Say they went for They got an O-lineman. They got Talise Fuaga with the number 9 pick, who they thought was the top player at that spot. But they were a little upset that they couldn't. They were in a conundrum, and they really felt like they should pair up the rookie quarterback with a rookie receiver. And they still see a receiver that, say, a Rome Odunze or a Brian Thomas Jr. there to pick. Now, if they use that draft capital to come back and grab one of those 2 guys or something, a scenario of that nature, I'm with it. I can also see going into, looking at the pro players established already. But I can see, I think this draft is that strong. So if it were me, I'm leaning more towards get back in there and get this quarterback, the receiver that he desires. And that's just me. But
man, when you say you see this draft being that strong in what areas?
Cornerback, receiver, offensive tackle, very, very, very strong. Very strong, those 3 positions. But
I just want you to clarify that so everybody can understand what you mean by strong in what areas of the draft.
Those 3 positions in particular, they really jump off to me. But let's go here, man. Here's a quick little hot topic for you guys, and it's going around. A lot of people, you know how a lot of people like to project what's happening on professional general managers' big boards and stuff, like, because Marvin Harrison didn't perform at the combine or the pro day. Everybody, he just slipped. Blah 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 blah. I don't think so. I don't think he slipped a damn little bit. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. But I'll let you guys chime in on that.
All right, so I would say that he probably would have slipped, and I have to phrase that strangely, with the exception that he's probably already had some communication with the Arizona Cardinals already that we're not necessarily privy to. If Arizona and him had just a simple phone call and it was, bro, we're taking you, it's good. You're don't even worry and sweat it. We need to pair you with Kyler Murray. If that conversation simply happened at any given time, he doesn't need to go to combine, doesn't need to do the medicals, doesn't need to do any of that stuff, to be honest with you. He knows where he's going. The number 4 pick is that pick, and that's what's going to happen as far as he's concerned. If by any stretch of the imagination Arizona decides to pick a different wide receiver or a different player altogether, yep, he slips. That's how I see it. I think Malik Neighbors made a bigger name for himself this during the combine, etc., as well as at his pro day. I also think Odunze did too. They both made major noise. I think Brian Thomas Jr. made major noise. I think Worthy made major noise. All 4 of those guys did. Not to say that he's going to somehow slide behind Brian Thomas Jr. and Worthy, but
can I slide something into your conversation? This is just something I know, man. The pro days and the combines are one thing. It's not that it's insignificant, but let me tell you, in any GM's on any GM's board, it's the game tape. That's the Bible.
Yep.
And so whatever he showed in the game, to me, that's exactly what the GMs are going by. They don't need a pro day or a combine out of either one of those guys. It's good that Neighbors and Odunze did well. I think, did it help their draft status? Yeah, but I don't think it bumped Marvin Harrison whatsoever. I had to just throw that in there. Go ahead, Bishop.
No, I agree. I think with regard to Marvin Harrison Jr., I pretty much think his spot is already slated. I do believe Arizona will be taking him with the 4th overall pick. With that being said, the other guys, if they did nothing else, a couple did definitely increase their value in the draft to where they were probably bottom 1st round picks to where now they're mid to maybe even creeping into the top 15. With regard to that, other than that, man, I have to agree. Didn't nobody slide? Let's just put it like that. Nobody slid because the film is out there. But I think with regard to Marvin Harrison Jr., I do believe that he is definitely going to be the first wide receiver taken, and he'll probably be taking the number 4 with Arizona.
Go ahead,
Sean.
No, he didn't slide. He's Marvin Harrison Jr. The stuff he's put on tape is great. You've seen it.
Plus the pedigree.
He didn't slide. And if he falls, it'll be because what's happening is they're taking a run on quarterbacks. All right. We can easily see 4 quarterbacks going in the top 4 picks. I mean, Arizona had already said a couple of weeks ago that they're looking to shop that number 3 pick, or number 4 pick overall. So they're not one wide receiver away from being a playoff contender. All right, you're drafting 4th for a reason. All right, they're not like us who were gifted that number 1 overall pick. They're bad. They have a lot of holes. They're offering. So no, it's if he does slide, it won't be because he didn't do the combine. It won't be that. It'll be because the way the board falls.
Yeah.
All right, sometimes the board falls a certain way, and there's no rhyme or reason. It just might, and that's the only reason. Not because I'm going to show him. No. Their job, GM's job, is to get the best player available. All right, they're not going to hold a grudge. You didn't do the combine. You didn't. No, they've already seen what he can do, and it's not like he played in the Big Sky. All right, he played in the Big Ten Conference. All right, he's played against top teams. Yeah, he's fine.
Okay, real quick, man, and I'm gonna show you how quick we can answer this, and so we don't get long-winded because we got one more thing after this. Who is your best edge? I'm gonna go real fast. I think Dallas Turner is the best edge in the draft. Go ahead, kids.
Best edge in the draft?
Don't get
So
long.
you went with Dallas.
You see,
You
I
went with Dallas Turner.
went with
So
Dallas.
what?
I went with Dallas Turner. Let's just be rapid about it.
Oh, rapid.
Shoot a name out.
It's all dependent here, right? So let's just say Latu for the sake of speed.
Okay.
Verse.
I like it.
Turner.
Chris, you got in here now. You had something to say, so get in here and say it.
Do I need to?
Yeah,
Jared Verse.
Put it
Jared
on.
Verse.
Put it on the book, Chris. You got
already
it.
been said. He knows who it is.
What do we get? So one more time, kids. Who are you? Who are you? Latu?
I said Latu.
Okay. You said Verse, right?
Verse, yes, sir.
And
said
Verse,
Turner.
right, Shawn? Turner?
I said Turner.
Okay, so we about split. Then we even split there. Here's one more last piece of a tidbit of information I thought was the most flabbergasting thing I'd seen on the internet in a very long time. I mean, a very long time. I'm not going to mention the name of the podcast. A very, very popular podcast. A lot of people tune into it. But this guy on this very popular podcast said that I'm gonna say the quote. Walter Payton was not an athlete. I'm just gonna leave it there and let these guys take that. Go ahead, kids. What do you think about a statement like that?
Idiot.
I'm not sure what huh?
Somebody
He
on a
was
very popular.
not an athlete.
You want me to repeat it?
I don't. Like you said it. I heard it. I just don't understand the context here. How is under what?
He said more running backs were. Since there are a lot more running backs who are more athletic. Like Barry Sanders is what
the context is, kids. Any moron can be on a very popular podcast and not know what the hell he's talking about.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's all I can tell you. But go ahead.
It's good context, actually. Yeah. So like, I'll just lean towards moron on this case scenario and call it a day. But I don't understand if we're comparing Walter Payton to Barry Sanders. They're different running back types in that respect. Yes, they are. As is, Barry and
Derrick Henry or something.
Derrick Henry, right? Like it was exactly the guy I was going to. Like, there's differences there. I wouldn't sit here and say any one of those guys is not an athlete because they're different than the other. They're all athletes, high caliber, elite. That's my 2 cents. Bishop.
So I'm gonna be very quick with this. First of all, asinine to even think that Walter Payton was not an athlete. This guy got majority of his doggone yardage without an offensive line for years before he even had a bona fide offensive line in front of him, first and foremost. Besides the fact the guy also threw the football, he could do multiple things. So to say that he wasn't an athlete, come on, man. I'm Shawn, go
My guy
ahead,
even played quarterback sometimes, right? Like,
yeah,
come on now.
Look, man, look, bro.
Yeah.
Look, man, look. Go ahead, Shawn.
Yeah, this guy's just an idiot, and this is you said it. You know what? Someone said it earlier. You're an idiot. All right, it's easy to have to be on a podcast when you've never seen him play. All right, and you may watch, and I don't understand how on highlights you still can't see. And someone said he's Barry Sanders is more athletic. I don't know what he said twitch wise. Well, you can't be more athletic twitch wise. Come on.
No,
He was a
what
twitcher.
the
He's
guy
a twitcher.
said, Sean, what the guy said, he tried to preface it by saying he didn't have downfield speed. I was just like,
No. No. Someone in the chat said he was twitch wise. I'm like, you can't compare that. And then like he ran a 4. I don't know if it was a 4.4 or 4.5. All right. And back at that particular point, not too many people were running 4.4s. All right. So don't get it twisted with you're comparing a guy who's drafted in 1975 to a guy who's drafted in 1990, 90-ish. All right. That's 15 years. Things evolve. And had he had the training, first, let's not forget, he went to a small school, Jackson State. You don't have the same facilities that you do at Ohio State and Oklahoma State and Alabama. Come on, man. It's just laughable. And then this is the type of thing that when people just say dumb stuff like that is literally on site. Just slap someone. He needs to be slapped. Just not an angry slap, just an just like come on, come on. Now just go about your baby, because hopefully I knock some sense in your stupid self.
Sean, I would say this, man, and we're gonna get ready to wrap this show. I think Walter Payton is one of the more athletic athletes that I've ever seen play football, as a matter of fact. I mean, he was so dynamic. I mean, what are you talking about? Athlete, not an athlete. What? I mean, it was so. I mean, the guys that were running the podcast, the hosts, were just like, whoa.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, hold on, player.
Did this guy watch Walter play?
Yeah, I'm like, wow.
No, he's too young.
That's what that makes perfect sense.
I'm gonna tell you something, man.
That's like people saying Jordan. That's us saying LeBron is the best. That's why.
But he was old enough to watch Barry.
Cares what he was trying to preface is the fact. See, he in his mind, somebody like a novice like that, he's a casual. He equates athleticism to an amount of speed that you have, because Walter Payton didn't have that home run hitting deep down the field speed. He said that he wasn't an athlete, and that not knowing that there's nuances to being an athlete. That's what makes you a casual. But
Walter
really quickly,
Emmett. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, really quickly, Brian wanted to chime in on that. Go ahead, Brian. What's your 2 cents on that? Say it cleanly now, Brian. And you're on mute too, by the way. You're on mute. Brian, you're still muted. Let me take him off mute myself. Go ahead. Somebody's messing with the mute. I'm trying to unmute him. Go ahead now, Brian. Well, Brian sounded like he had a mouthful, but it sounded like he got a whole bunch of nothing, because we can't hear him right now. And so
you got a beard full. Watch your mouth, Brian.
Hey, you know what, Brian? I guess it ain't meant to be today, man. We'll let you chime in tomorrow on that statement right at the top, if I can remember to bring it up, man. But I don't know, whatever technical difficulties he's going through, we'll let you chime in tomorrow about it. But let's give out some quick pleasantries, kids. I'll go around the horn real quick before we get up out of here.
Right on, No Maniacs. Yo, chat was pumping tonight. Lots of really introspective stuff. I'm on on our way out. I just want to throw, one of these little chats up in here, just real quick. My guy Bruja7 from Canada. No, it's literally a slappable offense. It's disrespectful. Jared Payton should actually be the one to do the slapping, and I'm so with it. I had to pop that up.
No arguments here.
No argument. 100%. That's how that should go. Again, I was alive long enough to watch Walter. He's the reason why I'm a Bears fan, period. No two ways about that. Defense is crazy too, but Walter. And I also was able to watch Barry Sanders. They're not really, it's a terrible comparison to make. Like, they're kind of different things, although they played the same position. They're really different things. Barry's off the chain. Where's Don? Oh, there he is. Like, I was waiting for it. Had to comment at that as soon as I said something. Honestly, Barry's off the chain. I can't take anything away from the guy. But Barry being as elite as he was does not make Walter any less elite than he was. And that just needs to be put down. Outside of that, guys, thanks for representing with us again on a holiday Monday. Hope you got all your eats in. Some folks celebrate today. If not, maybe you're on a meal number 2. I'm already 2 meals in, so I think I might just fast tonight. In any event, bear down. Thanks for rocking with us. Bishop, it's on you.
I just want to thank everybody for chiming in with us for a little past an hour again today, like you guys do each and every day. And it definitely is appreciative. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. With that being said, man, look, just to keep it real short and quaint, to think that Walter Payton wasn't athletic is asinine, but also, to speak on Barry Sanders, he was a unique runner, to say the least, unique and gifted in his own right. And that's the great thing about running backs, man, that it's unfortunate they're being devalued at this point, but each one of those guys have a special something to their game that makes each one of them unique and fit into certain offenses the way that they do. So they're all athletic in their own right, to say the least. With that being said, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Make sure you guys check in and watch the ladies tonight as they play in the NCAA tournament. They head to the Final Four. Get
I
that
thought
in,
you were
'cause
going
it's
to
gonna
the
be some-
clubs.
No. It's gonna be some good basketball this evening, y'all. Starting at 6:15 Central Standard Time. Shawn, take it away, my brother.
I was
Yeah,
thinking completely different ladies.
sport sports owners and nomaniacs unite. Thanks for tuning in and checking it and supporting us. And someone just said in the chat, we're taking, we're on a bad take. Come on, bro. That's like saying, the sun isn't in the sky. The sun, you know what I mean? It's just, there's certain things that are true. You watch them. If you know anything about anything, you can tell the athleticism. But I digress. That's just a troll. Oh, and it's Andre who's now trying to come at us. Like, chill, Papa, chill. All right, but great day, great stories, great conversation. All right, a lot of different topics. I loved it. Good stuff. So let's just make sure that we'll be back at it tomorrow. Make sure you follow Sports Zone Chicago, our YouTube channel, like you do the Nomad Network. We're jumping up. We're increasing our subscriptions, and I appreciate that. And pass the word on. All right, I did the show today. Go back and check it out on YouTube on Sports Zone Chicago. My show this morning. You can check that out. I had a lot of NCAA basketball talk today. So, and not so much Bears talk, which is why I was looking forward to this show right here. So you guys have a good day. Enjoy it, and we will see you mañana a la una.
Hey, Nomad, before you close it up, I got two quick ones here. The first one is just a little bit of love for guys like Oliver Chapman, who send us a little super chat here and there for no good reason other than he just loves the show.
Put it on.
Thank you very much. Just wanted to give Oliver a little bit of love. And Jose Sanchez, he's representing from Puerto Rico. Oh! Had to do it. They should set him up at the slap contest, tie his hands behind him, and have one of those competitors slap the heck out of him. Just had to put it out there. Everybody wants to slap this person. I don't know who it is, but hopefully they're not at the
what?
I don't know.
Hey, you know what? I mean, somebody need to roll up on him.
Say to the face.
Somebody need to roll up on him and check him for that.
I want my man to go like this.
That's just a crazy statement. Hey guys, look here, man. I appreciate everybody, man. Appreciate the love. Thank you for tuning in, man. Don't make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and your notification bell for both channels, both the Nomad Network and Sports Zone Chicago. I want you guys to know something. We asked for contributions for a reason, because we're trying to fund what we're trying to do, outreach, trying to branch out, trying to get some things going on for the channel that we have not previously. So we appreciate any and every nickel sent. Also, I just want you guys to know how difficult it is in a time like this to keep a show interesting, which I hope we did our job today. We kept you guys for an hour and a half, and we kept topics interesting. It's very difficult at this time with not a lot of news happening. So hopefully anybody that's listening to my voice and the sound of my voice can understand how difficult it is to make content right now. But we keep cranking it on out there for you every day. And I know you guys appreciate it. Most all of you do. So if you have not subscribed to either channel, please consider doing so. And we love you guys for that in advance. But before we get out of here, I got to leave you guys with these famous words. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Bear down.
Chi-Town, stand up, bear down.
Peace,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah.
Boom.